Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Keyblade Master and welcome to my channel. Tales of Zestiria hit a few days ago on Steam and I have downloaded and played a few hours. Now I will have to apologize for some of the technical difficulties that come with the video. One of the things I have gotten is a new screen capture software for my PC. I'm still trying to experiment and get some of the kinks out. One of the things I did that's completely my fault was I didn't realize that the default mode of this software is to record in the old-fashioned standard format for screen layout. Most games nowadays are widescreen, so a lot of this video you're going to see cropped images. That's completely my fault and I apologize. Also, for some reason, my video editor doesn't seem to really be liking the way my screen capture software is capturing the sound. I will also try to work on this and see if there aren't any patches. So some of the problems on this video, it's my fault. I won't be able to show you any of the music or the voice acting, unfortunately, but I will try to do my best to give you an impression of Tales of Zestiria. Anyways, I played about 2 hours of it so far. And as far as the story goes, it starts off with this opening basically telling you that darkness once tried to develop the world. A hero called the Shepherd appeared, used a magic sword, banished the darkness, and then afterwards he disappeared. Later the darkness returned, and the Shepherd did not. And if I have to go underwater in this game to retrieve a magic sword from a lost kingdom, I'm going to be pissed, because this sounds a lot like Zelda the Wind Waker. And yes, there's even some ruins with signs that look a lot like the scrolls that you see at the beginning of the Wind Waker detailing the shepherd. So yes, there is an homage to Zelda the Wind Waker in this one. But basically, you play this guy, Sore, who was a human that was raised by these magical creatures called the Seraphim. Anyways, he's the only one who can really see them, and he manages to bump into a knight called Alicia, who basically, first human interaction, they do a few side quests around the village. She then leaves, and then Sore learns that there are creatures called Hellions that are basically causing trouble in the world thanks to the chaos going all out of control. And when he learns that they're going to be after her, he decides that he must go to the human world and try to find a way to help them, and he takes one of his Seraphim pals along to help him, even though no one else can see him. So far, I just managed to pull out the magic sword that makes Sore the Shepherd, and what makes the Shepherd special is he can defeat the Hellions for good. What are Hellions? Well, when a person goes too much into the dark side, he becomes a Hellion, and only the guy who has the magic sword called the Shepherd can actually purify him. Oh yeah, the magic sword also has its own spirit/AI controlling it. So now we're going from Wind Waker to Skyward Sword homage. Yes, there are Kingdom Hearts, there are Zelda homages everywhere so far in the story. However, I don't think Tales of Zestiria is going to be taking after these games as its main source of inspiration. No, I think it's getting its inspiration from another source that isn't a video game or even a Japanese tale for the most part. What it's getting its inspiration for is a little-known children's tale, and I shouldn't say little-known, it is kind of well-known, but compared to some of its contemporaries that were written around the same time, The Wizard of Oz and Alice in Wonderland, it's not as well known, and it's called The Princess and Her Curdy, which is a sequel to a book called The Princess and the Goblins. Basically, the story follows a young boy named Curty who befriended the princess in the first book, misses her even though he thought she was kind of goofy because she could see things that he couldn't, including a magical witch grandmother. Although a little bit of a role reversal at first, Alicia can't see the Seraphim, Sore can, but still the same thing goes on. Two friends that trust each other, but one can see things that the other doesn't, and the other thinks a little bit eccentric. Anyways, Curdie does eventually see some of the things that the princess could, including the magical grandmother who casts a spell on him, telling him the princess is in danger at the capital, and sends him to the capital in order to find and help her. One of the powers she gives him is the ability to see people who have become corrupt. People who have become corrupted look like animals to him. What does Soray see when these people become Hellions? They turn into animal-like creatures. Same thing with this book. Later in that story, we find out that a whole bunch of politics happens, and the corruption has spread so bad that basically a bunch of the political leaders sold out the kingdom to their enemies, and Curdie has to ride out and stop it. I see that coming in this game's story. Kind of nice to see a JRPG rip off a Western story that isn't either Star Wars or Tolkien. So I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Anyways, let's start talking about the gameplay elements. It looks like Tales of Zestiria is going to start me off fairly closed in. That's not to be surprising. Most JRPGs are like that. But just judging from what I've seen of the world, it looks like it's fairly large and open. Even more so than Tales of Xillia, and that's saying something, because Xillia did have a nice open world. This one looks like it's even bigger and broader. I can't wait to see if that's true or not. The combat system so far is okay. It's not as good as Xillia so far, but it does look like there's a large range of customization, because weapons can be customized, what you equip and the way you equip them can unlock hidden abilities, and you can even level up and upgrade your titles for the first time ever. So it's going to be interesting. The one thing I really didn't like is just the way that the arts are used. It's kind of going back to a Tales of Grace's F thing, where rather than having your standard TP bar, it's more of a, the more you attack, the lower your bar goes, and you have to stop and wait for that bar to refill, or else you're going to find your character winded. And I just don't really enjoy that as much as just the standard Tales game where, you have a limited amount of TP and that refills the more you regularly attack, and you have to balance the way the arts are used. That doesn't mean that there isn't hope. I have to wait and see where this fully evolves to in the end, because I'm still kind of in the tutorial section of the game. Yes, it's going to take 3 or 4 hours before everything I think is fully explained to me, but that's typical of a Tales game. The one complaint I have with this game so far when it comes to its graphics is the character designs are beautiful and the area layouts seem to be okay. Like I said, some of the problem with the screen clipping is my fault in the way I used the screen capture software, not checking the settings. That was a noob mistake. But the screen does tear. There is a significant amount of screen tearing that I noticed, at least on my rig. We're not talking Sherlock Holmes Crime and Punishment amount of screen tearing, but it is there, it is distracting, and it is annoying when you see it happening during a cutscene. But other than that, graphically, the game looks good, runs smoothly. The story seems to have some interesting parts. I don't know if it's going to hold up as well as Xillia. I don't think it's definitely going to be as good as Vesperia. But the story seems okay, and the battle system does seem like it's giving itself areas to branch out. So I can't really wait to really tear into this thing. So hopefully in a few weeks I will have a review out for Tales of Zestiria. And hopefully by the end of this week I can finish my Tales of Symphonia review. I've got that almost done as well. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in the Tales of Zestiria, let me know by throwing a comment down below. This is Tommy the Keyblade Master. Again, thanking you for watching and signing out.